Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating origins of Greek civilization, focusing on the period from 500 to 300 BC. We'll look at how the city-states formed and what shaped the classical period. So, get ready to dive into the foundations of one of history's most influential cultures. Today, we're looking at the Peloponnesian Wars, a conflict that lasted about 30 years, and it really shaped Greek history. On one side, we have Sparta, known for its powerful land-based army. They emphasized discipline and had a warrior society, where strength and martial skill were highly valued. Sparta's focus was on land power, and their society was built around training soldiers from a young age to defend their way of life. On the other side, there's Athens. They were more focused on naval power, which allowed them to control the sea and project influence across the Mediterranean. Athens also embraced democracy, giving more people a voice in government, and they were cultural leaders in art and philosophy, producing some of the most famous thinkers and artists of the time. These two city-states were essentially rivals, each representing very different values and strengths. Sparta's strength was in their disciplined armies and land dominance, while Athens thrived through their naval prowess and cultural achievements. This rivalry between land and sea powers, along with their contrasting political systems and societal values, fueled the conflicts of the Peloponnesian Wars and ultimately shaped the course of Greek history. Let's take a closer look at some of the key role models for all Greeks. These figures and ideas helped shape their identity and values. First, we have ethnic identity, which was incredibly important because it defined what it meant to be Greek and helped unify the city-states. Then, there's the code of conduct. These were the shared rules and expectations that guided their behavior, emphasizing virtues like bravery, loyalty, and honor. Moving on, we see the significance of the Iliad and the Odyssey, epic poems that not only told stories of heroes and gods, but also served as moral guides and cultural touchstones. Now, at the heart of this is Homer, the legendary poet who composed these epic tales. His works are more than stories. They're the seeds of Greek identity. They inspire heroism and bravery, which were central to Greek culture. So, when we talk about heroic bravery, we're referring to the qualities admired and aspired to by the Greeks, traits that define their sense of self and their ideals. In essence, these elements, role models, stories, and shared values, created a foundation that helped forge a strong, unified Greek identity, which is a crucial theme in understanding their history and culture. Shared beliefs really played a crucial role in uniting the Greeks, creating a common identity that transcended city-states. These beliefs were often rooted in their religion and mythology, which provided a shared understanding of their world and values. For example, they looked to Apollo for spiritual guidance, trusting in his wisdom and connection to the divine. Speaking of Apollo, the oracle at Delphi was a central symbol of this spiritual connection. Since the 8th century BCE, it's been a unifying force for all Greeks, offering prophecy and guidance that everyone respected. Now, moving to the Olympics, another powerful way the Greeks expressed their shared identity. The Olympics weren't just about athletic competition, they symbolized unity through culture. During these games, people from different city-states came together, celebrating their common heritage and values through sport. It's a great example of how shared beliefs and cultural practices reinforced a sense of unity across ancient Greece, which ties directly into the overall theme of how shared identity shaped their society. Today, we're looking at the origins of Sparta, which was founded by Lycurgus around 800 BC. Lycurgus is a legendary figure credited with establishing the unique Spartan way of life. One of the most defining aspects of Sparta is its emphasis on total discipline, which was ingrained in every aspect of society. The Spartans, also known as the Lacedaemonians, were known for their rigorous training and strict social structure. Sparta developed into a military state, where strength and discipline were paramount. This focus on the warrior ethos shaped their identity and made them one of the most formidable military powers in ancient Greece. So, in essence, Sparta's foundation set the stage for a society built around discipline, military prowess, and a warrior culture. So this slide highlights how Spartan society was truly structured for total control. One of the most striking points is that the Helots vastly outnumbered the Spartans themselves. This imbalance was key to understanding how Sparta maintained its power. The entire population was essentially reduced to serfs, known as Helots, who were forced to serve the Spartan state. When we talk about slavery in Sparta, it all stems back to their conquest of Messenia in the 8th century BC. That victory resulted in the subjugation of a large population, turning them into Helots. They were the conquered majority, and their role was to work the land and support the Spartan economy, while the Spartans focused on military training and governance. This conquest and subjugation created a society where the Spartans relied heavily on this oppressed class for their survival. The Helots, though essential, were kept under strict control, which explains why the Spartan army was so formidable. It's not just about defending their territory, but also about maintaining dominance over the Helots. In essence, Spartan society was built around this dynamic of conquest, control, and reliance on the subjugated majority. It's a clear example of how a society's structure can be driven by the need for total control to sustain its power and way of life. All right, let's look at the core of Spartan stability. It all begins with all male citizens, who are part of the General Assembly. This was the main body where every male citizen had a say, emphasizing equality among them. Then we have the Gerousia, or the Council of Elders, which consisted of 30 members. These were experienced men, often elders, who provided wisdom and guidance to the assembly. Below that, we find the executives, led by 5 ephors. These leaders held significant power, especially over military and religious matters, acting as a check on the kings and ensuring the stability of the system. Speaking of kings, there were 2 of them, which is quite unique. This dual monarchy was designed to balance power and prevent any one ruler from becoming too dominant. All these parts, citizens, elders, ephors, and kings, worked together within a carefully crafted system. This was a system uniquely designed by Lycurgus himself, aiming for power and glory. It wasn't just about ruling, it was about creating a stable, disciplined society that could endure and thrive. So, in essence, the Spartan constitution was a sophisticated setup balancing different branches of leadership, all contributing to the overall stability and strength of Sparta. Let's take a look at slide 8, which is all about the power of being concise. The phrase, laconic wit, really captures the idea that sometimes saying a lot with just a few words is the most effective way to communicate. It's about clarity and impact. Moving on, we see the word Cryptia, which was an ancient Spartan secret service, symbolizing survival skills in the wild. It reminds us that resilience and resourcefulness are crucial, especially when facing tough situations. Then we have boys learning to be brave and girls exercising to be strong. These points highlight that strength and bravery are essential qualities for everyone, regardless of gender, and they're built through action and experience. Ultimately, this slide ties into our overall theme, developing resilience, courage, and strength, both mental and physical, so that we can face challenges confidently. Remember, sometimes, a few carefully chosen words can say everything we need to say. Let's take a closer look at Theseus and how he embodies the heroic standard that helped shape democracy in Athens. Theseus was known for aiding the weak, which highlights his commitment to justice and fairness. This idea of supporting those who cannot defend themselves is really at the heart of democratic values. He also believed in giving power to the people, moving away from the old systems of monarchy or tyranny. This shift was crucial in establishing a government where citizens had a voice. Theseus's actions contributed to ending the monarchy in Athens, paving the way for a more collective form of governance. And interestingly, Theseus is credited with founding Athens itself, which ties into the broader theme of building a society based on shared power and responsibility. So, when we think about democracy, especially in Athens, Theseus stands out as a heroic figure who set the foundation for a system that puts the people's power at the center. So let's dive into the key reforms that really changed the game for Athens. First, we see the idea of leveling the playing field. This meant creating new social classes based on property, giving more people a stake in the city's governance. It was a move toward fairness and broader participation. Next, the concept of freedom was a major breakthrough. Athens abolished the system of debt slavery, which had trapped many citizens in a cycle of debt and servitude. This was about restoring personal liberty and preventing economic exploitation. Then there's debt relief. All existing debts were canceled, freeing many Athenians from crushing financial burdens. This not only helped individuals, but also stabilized the economy and society as a whole. All these measures, creating social classes, ending debt slavery, canceling debts, are about shaking off burdens that held people back. It was a significant step towards social justice. And remember, these reforms took place in 594 BC under Solon. His efforts were crucial in laying the foundation for Athens' development into a more balanced and fair society. This slide highlights how these reforms aim to create a more equitable political and social landscape, connecting directly to our theme of reform and progress. And with the establishment of the rule of law, Athens truly flourished. This stability allowed the finest artisans to thrive, creating high-quality products that gained recognition across the ancient world. Their craftsmanship was so exceptional that Athens could attract citizens from other regions, eager to be part of such a prosperous society. One of the key benefits of this legal stability was the ability to offer citizenship to skilled craftsmen, encouraging innovation and economic growth. This openness also meant that Athens could allow for the export of its goods, spreading its influence far beyond its borders. And perhaps most famously, Athens exported what was known as the liquid gold of the ancient world, olive oil. This product became symbolic of Athenian prosperity, representing both economic strength and cultural excellence. All of these elements, law, craftsmanship, export, and valuable commodities, came together to make Athens a hub of wealth and influence, demonstrating how the rule of law laid the groundwork for its golden age. Our foundation. Today, I want to highlight what truly underpins the legacy of these ancient civilizations. First, we have the Spartan strength. This represents the discipline and resilience that Spartans were famous for, training their minds and bodies to endure hardship and serve their city-state with unwavering loyalty. It's a testament to how discipline can forge strength, both physically and morally. Next, we see the Athenian ideal, which is about democracy. Athens pioneered the concept of citizen participation and valuing individual voice, foundations of modern democratic systems. This contrast between Spartan discipline and Athenian democracy shows us how different approaches can shape a society's character. Finally, the lasting legacy. These principles of strength and democracy didn't just stay in their time. They continue to influence us today. They remind us that discipline and democratic values are core to building resilient communities and fostering progress. All of these elements, strength, democracy, legacy, are the foundation of what we're exploring. They connect directly to our overall theme, understanding the enduring impact of these ancient civilizations on our modern world.